Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. Am I the a-hole for refusing to take care of my sister's kids? I work on the front lines in the healthcare sector in addition to doing research for my university. In between that, I'm also pursuing my graduate studies. Due to COVID, my older sister and brother-in-law have been working from home and just assumed that I would be okay to babysit the kids without prior consultation. They just assumed that because I'm in school, I have all the time in the world to take care of their kids at the drop of a dime. I was fine with it at the beginning because my hours for my frontline job had been cut significantly, so I agreed to babysit whenever they needed. It started off as 6 days a week, but after feeling overwhelmed, I told my sister that I could only babysit the kids 2 times a week, but could do more days for emergencies only. Well, that only lasted for about 2 weeks without them taking advantage of it. Soon they were saying they had all these emergency meetings and couldn't take their kids back after 5 p.m. Sometimes I had the kids from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. So I blew up at them. It didn't end well, and my sister now thinks I'm an a-hole because I have all this time in the world. And I'm selfish because they have to work in order to keep their jobs and provide for their family. She said that I'm obligated to take care of the kids because I'm her younger sister, and if I were in her position, she would do the same thing, which I seriously doubt. Then she called my mom and told her that I was being selfish and that I was refusing to help her with the kids. I've never been the favorite child, so my mom quickly sided with my sister and both said, I'm lazy, acting out, and have never been a help to the family. I should also add that I'm one of those people that when I feel angry, I start to cry, which didn't help my case, and my sister and mother told me to grow up. So now I'm feeling like an a-hole because I want to help, but I'm just feeling so overwhelmed. Am I the a-hole? You're not the a-hole, OP. Your sister is taking advantage of you. You're doing them a huge favor. They shouldn't feel entitled to your time. They should be grateful when you babysit and understand whenever you say you can't. I'm so sorry you're feeling bad for calling your sister out on her bad behavior. She's an a-hole, and so is your mom for taking her side when it's very clear who is at fault here. Don't babysit for her anymore, especially if it is overwhelming. She doesn't deserve this much sacrifice from you. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. I'm sorry this happened. Your sister and mom are trying to manipulate you with the grow up comments. Don't give in. Get therapy though, for yourself so you can stand up to people without crying. It's possible. Take it from me, as I used to always cry at any confrontation, and to better deal with your borderline cruel family. Not the a-hole. I'm an older sister, so I'm just gonna say it. Your sister and mom suck. Mom thinks it's easy. She can take the kids for the week. After that, you can talk with her again. Your sister is an entitled brat. I'm also emotional when I get upset, so now I take deep breaths and talk slowly, very gently, like the person in front of me is an idiot. I don't repeat myself, and if they want to hear me, they have to be quiet. It drives idiot people mad. Both me and my sister have been working from home, but we managed childcare around the working schedule. Our 3 kids had their birthdays during quarantine and blew candles with friends and family over video calls. Not the a-hole for a couple of reasons. 1. They are not your kids nor your responsibility. 2. They are taking advantage of you. 3. She's trying to manipulate you. 4. You are overwhelmed and that is okay. 5. You work in a profession where you are at higher risk. 6. They are not supportive of your needs and boundaries. 7. They are using you as a sitter to avoid their responsibilities, not in emergencies as you had said for the extra days. I know placing boundaries is hard, but in this case I would suggest not babysitting at all because you are so unappreciated. Hope things work out. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for saying I won't put in more money for my stepson's college fund? Background story. I have one daughter, 13 female, Anna. Her mom, my wife, passed away 3 years ago. I'm now engaged to Jade. Jade has a son, 15 male, Ben. We got engaged a few weeks ago and have finally gotten around to talking about merging finances. Anna has a pretty good college fund. We call it that, but it's basically hers to use however she sees fit. Jade also has set up a college fund for Ben, but Anna's is about 10 times as much as Ben's. Jade suggested that we split the fund equally, and I absolutely refused. My reasons were, my wife worked full-time and I stepped down to freelancing when we had Anna. My wife earned a lot and we had a policy of putting 30% of our salaries into the fund. Needless to say, my wife's contribution was much more than mine. My wife's parents contributed significantly to this when Anna was born. Money from my late wife's life insurance went into this fund directly. Jade didn't like it, but she understood. I have started working full-time too now that Anna has grown up. Jade works full-time too. I told that I'm currently putting 30% of my salary into Anna's fund, which after marriage I will make 50% into each for Anna and Ben. Here is where it gets tricky. Jade thinks it's not fair that Anna's fund gets the same amount as Ben's as hers is already big enough. She thinks I should put 30% into Ben's fund until it reaches the same amount as Anna's. When I argued that it was unfair, she was telling me there is a difference between equality and equity. She was telling how Anna was lucky that she had two parents who earned well and grandparents who helped. Jade could only do so much as a single mom with no one to help. She had to waste a lot of money on childcare and rent, while me and my late wife had a house and each other. She showed me a picture to explain how Ben needs help more than Anna. I get it. Ben will be going to college sooner than Anna, and Anna definitely has a lot of money. I still don't think it's fair to ask me to stop contributing to Anna's fund. Jade did the best she could under the circumstances she was in, and I'm proud of her for that. But Anna shouldn't be punished because Jade was in a shitty situation. Jade thinks that is going to build resentment between them in the end. So am I the a-hole? Edit. Because I was told to add this, Jade is not contributing to Anna's fund now. She will be putting in money for Anna once Ben is in college. So I will be putting 15% into each fund while Jade will put 30% into Ben's fund. She agreed to split it into 15% after Ben is in college. This is the current plan that I have proposed. You're not the a-hole, OP. Life isn't fair, and we as people just have to deal with it. Jade was a single mother, of course. Her son's college fund will be smaller than your daughter's who had you, your late wife, and her parents contributing to her fund. Jade has you now, and you already told her you were going to help with her son's college fund too. She should leave it at that. She doesn't get to tell you to take out of your daughter's college fund for her son. It's your daughter's, not yours. If she doesn't agree with what you've proposed, then I'm sorry, you should re-evaluate the relationship because she is giving off major red flags. And I would be very careful with my daughter if I were you. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. It isn't fair to Anna that her college fund gets taken away from her just so that she and her new stepbrother have equal amounts. You, your late wife, and your former in-laws worked hard to give money to Anna for her future use. You shouldn't be taking away the money other people contributed to Anna's life just to satisfy Jade's desires for Ben. You are already being generous by contributing to Ben's college fund as you are now. Plenty of step-parents refuse to. Not the a-hole. It's not really your fault for why Ben's is smaller than Anna's after all. It's not like he was your son or had been in your life since he was born and you are neglecting him. I kinda get where she's coming from with the whole his should be as big as hers argument, but that doesn't mean you should just cut off Anna's fund. Like I said, he hasn't been in your life as long as Anna has. That's no one's fault. It's just a matter of facts. I think she's worried about her son's future and having enough money to make sure he gets through. However, it seems like you are putting in a fair effort in contributing to Ben's future. Not the a-hole. Anna's fund was contributed not just by you, but her mother and grandparents, and sadly her mother's life insurance. Jade's son is not entitled to any of that. Jade should be happy you are willing to put anything aside for him. She wants to punish your daughter because she had a giving family, but it's more insulting to insinuate she needs to give up some of her dead mother's life insurance to her new stepbrother to even out the college funds. And just as insulting saying her dad should stop contributing. because in her eyes, her son is more important. Sure, you want to marry her? Everything you buy Anna will be competition in Jade's eyes. I feel bad Anna has to be around her. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for explaining to my sister-in-law that some men might not want to date her because her kids are black? I'm a woman of Asian descent, married to a white man, and a sister, my sister-in-law, was previously with a black boyfriend with whom she had 2 kids. She's recently been back on the dating scene, and so far, a lot of online matches have abruptly tapered off after she shows pictures of her kids. She told me this, but in a slightly different way. OMG, they're so into me until they see my kids. What's going on? She's also told me that she has written in her bio that she is mom to 2 children, which makes me think it's definitely the fact that the children are black. Obviously, this is my own feeling, but as a woman of color, I suspect this is more true than it has any right to be. And I explained to my sister-in-law that some men harbor negative thoughts about women who date outside their race, and it could be that they are racist and don't want anything to do with mixed kids. I myself have been on that receiving end, and the thought occurred to me that I should tell her. She absolutely blew up at me and accused me of racism against both black and white people, and is adamant that I need to apologize because apparently me saying that means I'm judging her, which I'm not, and which I was very clear in making her know when I told her. My husband told me that I should just let my sister-in-law crack on with it and that she'll realize in her own time, but I'm wondering if I shouldn't have said anything. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Is it possible that they are turned off because she's sending pictures of her kids in the first place? I didn't see this brought up in the comments, but apologies if it has been. There's not enough context here to be able to tell. But what if guys are just turned off because she seems to be rushing into things? You can be fine with someone having kids and not fine with them escalating from a dinner date to when to schedule the wedding. It might not even be racist in the way you're thinking. A lot of people have a hard time dating single parents just because they know that doing so makes them a parent as well. When the kids are the same race or look similar, it is easier for them because they can see themselves and bond with the children easier. When they are a different race, it becomes harder for them to do so. It's a mix of biology, upbringing, and often racism, but it's not always intentionally racist. Also, a lot of men who use online dating apps don't actually read profiles, so many of them probably didn't realize she had kids until they saw the pictures and it scared them off. Plus, some people are just racist. No a-holes here. You were trying to be honest and your heart is in a good place, and she is completely out of tune that this could be a real possibility with some men. Why not suggest to her that instead of putting on her profile that she has 2 kids, to put she has 2 biracial kids? Alternatively, it could be that they have 0 issues with the kids at all, and that she is coming off as needy or desperate or clingy. In other words, something completely unrelated to her kids and related to her own behavior that manifests after she shows the kids pictures. And these men nope right out of there.